Gas, speaking of climate, will soon hit $6 a gallon in Los Angeles. By all appearances, President Biden, in some ways, kind of views that as a success. Bill alluded to this. Because President Biden shows no sign of stopping his actions show climate agenda above all, which is what the speech tomorrow is going to be about. From the New York Times today, if the president wins re-election, his climate team is likely to try and cut greenhouse gases from steel, cement, and other hard-to-clean-up manufacturing. Those regulations will do to the cement and steel industries the same things regulations on domestic energy does to gas prices. It will rise prices for all of us, aka inflation. As we have said, and as the president will talk about tomorrow, climate orthodoxy above all else. We see that play out on the United Auto Workers picket lines right now. The United Auto Workers are on strike in large part because of subsidies for electric vehicles. And Union Joe has abandoned the union to keep the climate orthodoxy. From the New York Times piece today, the prospects of new mandates from Washington regarding steel and cement, the bedrock of materials for American construction, could sour the swing state union workers courted by Mr. Biden. Here with us now, Axios business reporter Nathan Bomey. Nathan, it's good to see you. I just want to get the reporting on this. Are we fair to say that the White House has made a political calculation that they're willing to sacrifice some union support because of the progressive climate change agenda?
I do think the president is in a very difficult position here because on one hand, he wants electric vehicles for the future. On the other hand, he wants to be seen as pro-union. And so that's where this becomes a very difficult situation for him. The UAW has withheld its endorsement of the president because they're upset about the idea that electric vehicles may require fewer workers than gas engine cars.
All right, so how do we put this in perspective looking forward? Because it's one thing to have gone after the energy industry as he has. And look, we put through really from day one, canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, new sales releases on federal land, onshore leases fewest in a decade. Biden seeks fossil fuel-free buildings in hit to gas, released new rules on electric vehicles, delays a new federal offshore drilling plan by 8 months. It's fair to say he has really crippled the domestic energy industry and for serious reasons. Now you look forward. Steel plants, 65,000 American jobs. Cement plants, 11,000 jobs. When the White House sort of puts this out to the New York Times, what's their calculation politically of who gets excited about this and who doesn't?
Well, I think politically they see us as a country with the future of green jobs. And I think the big question is, will those jobs be in the United States? I mean, electric vehicles are being made in China. China is selling a lot of electric vehicles in Europe already. Not doing so in the U.S., but that could happen eventually. And so I think there's a big question here. Will there be EV jobs in America, and will they be unionized? Because right now you've got Tesla that's making EVs in California and elsewhere, not unionized.
Right, and so, you got BMW and Mercedes and
sure.
Toyota and everybody else throughout the southern United States, all non-union jobs.
Sure, and all those companies have a cost advantage already on the UAW. UAW workers are making cars for a much higher price than those companies. And so I think the question here is, how much of a raise are the UAW workers going to get? And is that going to create a situation where the automakers can't afford to make EVs at a price that we can pay for them?
Well, and there's been a lot of government subsidies into the EVs, especially American ones. Last question for you. Take us through the political calculation for the White House here of that white blue-collar manufacturing workers are not necessarily the demographic that they feel like they need to go after anymore.
I mean, I think that the administration does want that endorsement from the UAW, but I'm not sure that they're willing to abandon the EV agenda to get that endorsement. I think they're walking a fine line, and honestly, I think they want this problem to go away. I don't think the president really wants this strike to linger. This is really an uncomfortable situation for him. It could hurt the economy, and it could certainly hurt his political support.
Yeah, and then you sort of take it from the UAW, and then you take the steel workers and the cement workers and everything else. Nathan, fascinating reporting from Axios.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.